I think this is a good deal. I will give them the card, because if I can get a good hit, that will be my, you know, full turn. I will steal what I gave you. This is so cool. Oh, I'm just stealing stuff for you know, from my mono red. And they are, man, they are so dead. They have absolutely nothing on us, man. And now we will start drawing cards while they are discarding. Oh man, this is so brutal. So brutal. Man, I feel dirty playing this. There's also no downside. Like, it will happen one way or the other. For damage, our opponent is like, wow, nice play, bro. But now, when they see this, they will know what happens. And let's draw a lot of new cards. Yes, it is nice. Oh, I absolutely love it. Thanks, bro. Let's draw some cards, shall we? Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today a fan favorite. I know you waited for mono black discard, and here it is. We did not disappoint here. And I'll tell you, man, the deck is absolutely amazing. We actually had, you know, the win rate you have seen from the thumbnail, but we actually didn't drop a game with this one, and it felt insane. It felt way better than I expected. So the huge culprit for this is Bandit talents. Basically 2 mana that forces your opponent to discard a card. Then you get level 2, which means that they slowly get the cheap damage if they have 1 or less cards during their turn. And the level 3 is the big thing. This is basically a Phyrexian arena with no drawback, as long as your opponent has 1 or fewer cards in the hand. And I'll tell you, man, we are doing everything we can to make it like this. With Ruthless Negotiation, you can start discarding cards, actually exiling them, and with Flashback, you can always draw a card. Even if your opponent has 0 cards in the hand, you can still draw a card, so it's actually higher value than usual discard. And the big things are like Nezumi Informant and Snail. Why? Because after you discard a card, you still get the body, and then the Season of Loss, the main card for the deck, comes into play, because then you can start sacrificing your creatures while drawing card for everyone that died. So you optimally want 3 clutter like this that already traded card for card when they enter the battlefield. Then you force 3 pose on sacrifices and 2 pose, it sounds weird, on card drawing. So your opponent sacrifices basically his whole board, you lose whole board, but you draw 3 extra cards, and that's usually enough to win the game because you are already super ahead on the cards. So very cool stuff. You can also finish your opponent with the lethal, so that's actually important. With Shrouded, Braids, this and the cheap damage from Bandit's talent, this actually comes way faster than you expect. And one of the huge cards for the deck that I actually was super excited about. This is basically a 2 mana discard, so nothing super excited. We've seen Pilfer, right? But it's exile, so that's one thing. But the big thing, you can give the card, and here it's actually not a downside. At least sometimes, because if the gift was promised, you may actually steal the card that you are exiling, and it can be cast by you with using any kind of mana. So you still need to pay the cost, but you can steal any card from their hand. Usually probably the best one. And yeah, that's really brutal, especially that if they don't have cards in the hand, you give them a card and you still get the effect. So that's really brutal, man. It's a salt material, but super cool card that goes around the problem of this card. What happens if your opponent has 0 cards? Like, those cards don't do anything. This one does. This one does. So guys, let's go into the games. I know you are excited, and I'm super happy with the deck so far. It felt fun, it felt powerful, and we lathered up with this. So what more can we get? So let's go to the games. If you want to support the channel, we have Patreon right now, and you can get those cool decks earlier than everyone else, and, you know, also be immortalized in one of the videos. So cool stuff. So enjoy, guys, and I hope you will have as much fun as I had playing this deck. I'll be honest, guys, this is not exactly the hand I would love to have. Double Tinybones should give us some time, but I'm a little bit scared. No removal, and very slow hand with low value. We got the removal, so if they play something, maybe you can steal it. Alright, Bronco. Interesting. Interesting. If we kill this, we kind of force them to do something, right? We won't have the mana, so I offered the block. It's unfortunate that our opponent didn't go for it, but we can go like this. I'm a little bit scared about the 3-drop. They have some decent ones. This is probably turn 4. so we can prepare for Season of Loss. A Tapland, that means only a 2-drop, big difference. And now we kinda force the block on the Tinybones, so yeah, I would expect Tinybones to die somehow, but first let's attack and see what's up. Because we can cast Bronco and they cannot allow this to hit them. Yep. The Immortal Cutdown, always there, always there. We could start sacrificing lands with Braids. That means we draw more cards and we deal some damage. But we want to go into Season, I think, so let's go with the Tinybones first. And let's see if they have more. Nope. Okay, so that was the last cutdown. That's good information. And I mean, we still force, you know, them to kill Tinybones. Maybe we'll go for the throat, maybe with some blocking creatures. I don't think this will go through. Well, it will definitely not go through. Okay, that's a very scary card that I didn't want to see, honestly. Oh boy. Oh boy, I don't love what I'm seeing here. I don't think we can attack into this. Still, we can sacrifice a land. We are getting a little bit flooded, so, you know, they don't want to sacrifice a land. This is an interesting draw. Maybe we can batter their hand a little bit. I really want to get into 5. I know I'm sacrificing lands, but I won't have this occasion later, very likely. And Glissa will get some insane value very quickly. So we need to be quick. We need to be quick and get some cycling while we can. Show me. Something bad will happen, and I don't want to know what. Is that Shelly? Are you a Shelly? I don't want to highlight the graveyard. I know he knows, but there's no reason to, you know, remind him. And those leaves are pretty nice, actually. It's interesting, they attacked with Glissa. That means maybe they were desperate for the card. Dread Knight is a very good counter to Tinybones. Alright. Okay, I think this is a season preparation. So first, we go for negotiation. I think we can really butcher their hand very quickly, and with Season of Loss, I think we can draw a lot of cards. The Dread Knights will be annoying though. Like, this is a bit of a problem. They don't know they will have to sacrifice 2, and then we can go for the Informant and sacrifice it if we want. Preacher, man, this was a very powerful card. Right, this will be a huge problem. So I can go for the Inform. I cannot sacrifice land on this turn. I have 1 mana. I don't really want to attack on this turn, because on the next one I'm getting, you know, some value from my cards. Oh man. I could get extra card with this. They have only 1 card. I'm going with it. They will draw 2 because of Glissa probably, but then we can go absolutely crazy. We can sacrifice 3 creatures and then draw card for each one of them. That's the Arc thing. Oh boy. So I think we actually want to trade. Oh, we cannot trade against Glissa, right? Okay, we can trade against the Dread Knight. That's good. That's good. I think we go like this. And then we sacrifice 3 with 3 pose, and we draw 3 cards. That should be okay. They will draw with the Dread Knights, but it's super slow, so I hope we can get there. And I need this because otherwise they keep Glissa and she takes over the game. Yeah, I like it. There's nothing I can steal here, right? Bronco is not worth it, I think. Yeah, we need to... I hope I did the right thing. Alright, I wasn't looking for a second. Alright, trample is okay, like we just care about having 3 creatures in the board. And they drew a land, so that's the card. They will survive, let's pay attention. So they like the card, it seems. They like the card. I could get the last card and draw 1, but then we die, so I don't think it's the best idea ever. If I attack, I don't really gain anything, right? I get so much damage. Yeah, I think we just attack first. Like, we shouldn't get anything from this, but there's also no downside. Like, it will happen one way or the other. 4 damage. Our opponent is like, wow, nice play, bro. But now, when they see this, they will know what happened. 1, 2, 3 creatures, and let's draw a lot of new cards. I wish we had shorted in the board, but we don't have time. We are 1 turn short to play Shelly right now. Yes, it is nice. Oh, I absolutely love it. Thanks, bro. Let's draw some cards, shall we? No land. Alright, so we are kinda continuing the game. They will draw a lot of cards, but that gives us fodder for our, you know, our discard basically. They know about this one, but they also know it's super expensive. We probably go with Hostile Investigator, honestly, because it's way more. Is she really still here? Glissa, please, why? Why are you still here? Alright. Very, very scared. I don't love what I'm seeing right now. At least we will draw a card. It could be a land, right? We can also keep it for Shelly, but that's less efficient. But it's more life. Oh my god, I don't love having this Glissa. The whole point was to get rid of her, and she's still here. But to be fair, they play 4, so that's a decent chance to draw 2 of them at this point. I mean, our opponent is really good at Magic so far. That was like one of the few top decks he just got. And that's a 3-4-1 that solves literally every problem he had. So it will be a bit rough. If we draw a land, we can go Sharded and Braids. Why do I see Graveyard? Alright. So they will draw another card. Not amazing, we are 3. Even more not amazing. And I mean, we need to start doing removal. Like, at some point we need to get removal. Thank you. Thank you for being good at Magic, Shuffler. So we know that he has 1 random draw, and that's it. We go with the Virtue first. That's extremely good draw, by the way. Not only it kills the creature, but it also gives us some extra life, so we don't need to be scared about the cottage. Even if they draw a land into Go for the Throat, we still survive. Arcfiend. Alright. The Red Knight. Alright. Going a little bit top deck mode. Let's play a land. Maybe that was a mistake, but I think we'll go with Negotiations. We exile this card, we draw 1, and then we start to race probably, right? We have to kill this. I don't think we have other choice, so let's start with this one. We draw a card that is super important. That means we life gain back to 9. It's a land, but still a discard, and a life gain. And that gives us a card to discard for the next turn, or for this one. That's good, that's good. I mean, we have to kill it, right? Let's discard a card. And now the big question, do we race or we try to defend? They can activate 1 cottage and attack with 1 Dread Knight. I think we can race this, right? Maybe? Not really, because they will go to 9, then they block with this Dread Knight. And then we cannot go through, and then counter attack and win. And Virtue is too slow, we need to go Braids. So I think we try to be defensive and try to swing the lethal a little bit in our direction. As long as they don't top deck a removal, which they shouldn't, we should be absolutely fine. Bro, that's scary. Please don't do stuff like this. I have to block. I think they want to draw a card. That means more damage. I think they are trying to pain themselves into drawing an answer, but it cost them 3 life for a single attempt. So I actually don't mind it. Alright, cool. So if I attack, they will double block. That's not great for us. We can go for Aether Virtue. Virtue means we probably win the game in the long term. We can also go Braids, but we don't have a good sacrifice target. We can go for Hidden Necropolis and Discover 4. It's one of the best plays right now, but Virtue is 100% guaranteed. And we can go for so many good creatures. I think we go with this. That also means if they kill Shelly, we get it back. Land? Sure. Like, we are super mana hungry right now. Alright. Let the shuffler decide the winner, like a Caesar in the in the ancient Rome. Alright. Oh, they are just digging. And now, even if they draw a removal, we get Virtue with Shorted, and they need to do it again. I mean, that was a worthy attempt. If you don't hit a removal against Shorted, you will lose. And yeah, we got their hand really good, so they were absolutely out of options. I think at some point they discarded Go for the Fraud. And I mean, our short visit to gold was a welcomed one. You know, first day after reset, so for a second we'll be in the gold. We have one piece of removal and very slow hand. Let's take it. It cannot go wrong. Alright, against control, I think we could be fine. Like, we have a really nice card advantage in this deck. We will see how aggressive our opponent will be. Let's go with the Informant first. I will keep this. Because it might be useful later. No more ice. Nice. We basically discarded the card. It's not in the graveyard, so that's you know, that's a little bit of an oopsie, but there's nothing we can do about it. Do we want to give them the card? How do you really work? So if they counter, I think they still get the card. I'm not sure about this one. Yep, you need to decide it first, right? Oh, it's part of the effect. It's just added to the effect, so if they counter it, they don't get it. I think we can... Let's try it, but I'm pretty sure they shouldn't get the card unless the card resolves, so we basically get the full effect then. Let's see if they even have another normalize, because that's definitely above the curve. And if that's above the curve and it shouldn't happen, that means they have it. That's what I've learned. So we probably need to go for Beseech the Mirror right now. We don't get great value, no bargain, but we still can get the value. I'm not really sure what the card is. Investigator seems nice. Liliana, oh man. Those are some good ones. Alright, so Tinybones is nice, but it will probably not happen. I'm thinking about Investigator because the card is a juggernaut. I will take it. I think I will take it. It probably gets countered. But if they kill it in response, we also don't get the card. But at least it's still 2 for 1, and then we go into Aclazotz, right? So everything that hits Investigator also hits Aclazotz. So I'll take it. Go, my minion. Is that the third counter spell? Are you serious? Man, Shuffler is absolutely fine. Why wouldn't you draw triple normalize in your 11 cards? That makes perfect sense, and everyone should play around exactly this draw because that's the norm. Oh, I'm salty. Like, I actually expected potentially 2 counter spells. The third one was absolutely, you know, not something I expected that should happen. To be fair, it could be 3 steps ahead, so, you know, not super weird. Do you think they have another one? I'm sure they don't have the 4th counter spell in their top 12 cards. Alright, we saved the most important creature, the true bad god of Standard. That will make attacking super hard. Usually the response is Sunfall, but that means they kill their board. So, are you serious? You are actually playing this card. But that means they are fully tapped, right? Not exactly what I wanted to do, but you know what? I think we can make it work. I think we can actually make it work. My friend, you are feeling my loss. My Aclazotz. It's here. It's tapped for 3 turns, but we actually wanted that, right? Because it's the owner, right? Under its owner's control, so we are getting the value. No, 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 don't start with the mites, you are sacrificing the big guy. Come to, you know, where you belong. Our opponent was really sneaky. I really like this card. I actually had it in one of the decks, in the rat one, but I decided that that was too much of a creature deck, so I removed it. But I have my eye on this card, you know? And we'll definitely make something with it. They didn't give the card, man, they're so cheap. So, do we start with this? I will give them the card. I want to take something that is really fun and really cool. And I want to steal it. That's a Sunfall, but they would get it anyway, right? And Get Lost is worse. So I think we take the Sunfall. It will be mine. I don't know what I will do with it, but it's mine now. We go in for... We could also just discover. That's not the worst. We can hit Shelly or something like this. They have go for the throat for it. This doesn't do too much, to be absolutely honest, so maybe that was a bad play, but I will still make it. I like my bad plays. They sometimes turn out good and I look great, but most of the time they just look bad. So that's it. They will keep making might tokens, and unfortunately I didn't pay attention that we show the priority. So now they know I have probably a removal, so they probably won't activate the Anchorage. But they're on the full mercy of top decks. And I'll tell you, man, their top decks are really not bad. Are you serious, bro? That's one of the best draws.
Become subdued.
That's actually kinda okay for us, right? Maybe? I don't know. I don't really know. I can draw 2 cards with this and kill the might, but that's probably not the best. You are not a token. I would love you to be a token right now. We cannot activate anything on this turn, particularly. They have Get Lost, so if we play Braids, bad things will happen at the end step, so we cannot activate Aclazotz. They're really aware of this. I can sacrifice this though, so we can start getting some cards. Season of Loss, do we have something good here? Not yet, it will be better later. I think we honestly just play this. If they remove it before the end step, then we get the trigger. If they do it right now, before the combat phase, maybe we can sneak some Temple of the Dead. I don't think we can do anything about this one, but that means he has 1 card in the hand. Yep. I think they did it wrong, but I'm not super sure. I think they should make a stop here, and I think it would work, and in between we wouldn't be able to cast this. But so we, here we are. And that was my sneaky plan, to get them. I think this was a bit of a mistake, and I think they could do it better to prevent this play. But I hope they won't. Alright, they started to draw cards. I wonder why. Do they feel threatened? Do they feel that there's a bad guy waiting for their Jace? It won't be easy, but we have something to work with at least. We can use the map tokens on Informant and split some damage maybe. Man, why am I at 6 poison already? What happened in this game? Why am I at 6 poison? Like, I didn't expect it's going so quickly. And I really want this Informant, honestly. Alright, you are getting your 6th poison counter. It's actually kinda scary. We don't have too much removal that hits this. Alright. We have some plays. We won't know if they have priority, so unless they show something, we cannot do anything about it. Alright, I'll take it. That's a good one. I want to make sure that I remove the most loyalty. We might play Shelly. I don't know if they have something, honestly. Let's go to combat phase. They need to react right now. Alright, they didn't, so they're already discarding a card. If this dies, I think 1 loyalty doesn't matter. They will also have 1 might. I think we need to start being defensive a little bit. We already got the card, so if they cast something, they will be at 0 cards right now. Lockdown. Alright. I mean, that kills Jace. That solves one of the big problems. We could draw a lot of cards if we want.
A minor setback to Phyrexia's plan.
I think we go with Shelly right now. Let's see what the last card is. It should be good. Okay, I expected 3 steps ahead, to be honest, and I was kinda scared. If they're doing this, they are trying to find their 4th No More Lies. And there are no more lies in this deck, my friend. Alright, and the damage starts. They want Sunfall right now. We exiled one of them. They discard blockdowns. They need to have a really good top deck right now, because they're on the ropes slowly. They cannot poison us to, you know, to the end. Charlotte with Aclazotz is extremely quick timer, and we have also Season of Loss, which they don't know about. And we also have the Necropolis, so we actually have a 4-drop in our hand, potentially. Alright. I mean, that's a lot of damage, but they can afford it. They're at 20. But quickly, they might find themselves lower on the life total than they expect. How many creatures? 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, that's something, you know? It's more than 0. And we can start attacking with Aclazotz. 3 mana is not a lot. Alright. I tell you, man, it's a little bit scary. I think we go with the Fountain Port, because that enables us to potentially make 2 tokens. Who knows, maybe it's the winning play. And I think we take the Informant and we attack with those big guys. So this is what, 8, potentially 10 damage, right? With Season of Loss, I don't think we can kill this. And we can use the fish to start blocking might tokens, which is actually a big deal. And we get the bat. I think they might have forgot. I always forgotten about this part of effect. So this is extremely good blocker against his game plan. Like, he wants those mites, and he will have 1 for the next turn. So that means, and we have open go for the throat, which means we can save the Aclazotz. I think we are winning this. It's not fully over, because they have a lot of mana and they drew so many new cards, but I don't think they have cards that they need. They can kill Aclazotz, but it will cost them like 8 mana. They need Sunfall into Demolition Field. Do you want to gift me the card? No. So this will just be tapped. Okay. I think that still kills him, right? They cannot block with anything, and we have 6 damage in the board. Alright. I will actually be defensive, because I'm scared he got me. And I will take this because I can sacrifice... yeah, I want to trade. I want to make sure that he doesn't have it forever. We can make 2 fish, so we deal 6-7 damage. And we are at 20. And we will kill Charlotte when the time comes, so don't you worry. They won't live gain even 1 bit. The fish are scary. We can tank some damage, it doesn't matter. We resolve. We play the land. And show me! They need to have something. So we already get the card. If that's a bad card, we get the bad. If that's a good card, we get a good card. Well, that was a bad card. And 7 damage. What is your game plan? There is no Emperor. Yeah, I kinda expected this one. Let's kill Shelly. I didn't check, but I assume they are drawing cards. Well, you are still at 4, my friend. Don't steal my Shelly. It's mine. Alright. And here it comes. The game winning them. Man, we absolutely smorked them. Alright, we are going first and our curve is pretty decent. We just need a land and we should be absolutely golden. But we need to draw a land. And you know that it happened... I mean, it didn't happen very many times. Oh, that's definitely... Man, this is a sweet raccoon. How can you negotiate like this? This is just brutal. Please land from the top. Alright, no land from the top. Do we go with the Tinybones? Do you believe that we can draw a card? I don't believe it. Let's go with the Bandit's talent, it's more mana efficient. That opens perfect curve that I'm pretty sure we won't hit, but you know, one can dream. Playing 3 cards in a row for 1 to 3. And otherwise we just play Tinybones. If we don't show the Tinybones, that means our opponent is more likely to discard something that can be a target. If we play this, then they know that whatever they will discard, you know, might end on our side. But I really need those lands, man. I need to perfectly draw 2 lands in a row. That's the best case scenario. Oh, that's a lockdown. So this is an Oars of Control. It's interesting they discarded lockdown because they already see there is a target. You know what? I'll take it. We actually have full mana usage on this turn somehow. And I think the next turn will be lockdown. I think the reason they discarded is because they have to. That's usually how I discard my lockdowns. And they know also it might be a discard deck, but usually there are some creatures. Seraph! Oh my god, man, we are winning this so hard. Oh man, we are so good. And this is not even close. And we can steal it later, but it's high converted mana cost, so it will take a moment. And she doesn't get hit by the lockdown, so now they are in actual trouble. And we just need the last one, right? Well, I will prefer to... Deals. You may cast target... Okay, you may cast, but you have to choose, right? And we can decline, alright. That's a weird wording, but I guess it gets the job. Guardian. I don't think they will be quick enough. I think they are falling way too behind right now. And we can discard basically everything they have. So, first things first. I have zero idea what I will discard, but I know I'm discarding something. Eclipse is nice, but we should get something better, right? We can go Investigator on this turn and just raise them. We don't need to buffer what they have. Exam and Blinks. Alright, 3 mana Blink. 3 mana Blink. So let's attack. This is a scary attack. And they are so dead. They have absolutely nothing on us, man. And now we will start doing cards while they are discarding. Oh man, this is so brutal. So brutal. Man, I feel dirty playing this. And also very, very happy. 1 card. And I'll tell you, man, this is not a bad card. This is absolutely not a bad card, but it's very, very slow. Let's go. I have the fortress, so we need to keep it in mind. I'm considering leveling up the Bandit's talent. This is the best value we are getting this turn. Of your draw step. Alright, they ain't getting enough cards. Fortress can be fully ignored, we have way faster clock than them. Oh, each opponent's upkeep. Alright. Oh, right, because this is level 2. Man, there are so many triggers. This actually really helps us to raise, especially that this is tapped. So a single remove, this is a decent draw for them, and this is decent draw for us. As you can see, we kinda play very similar stuff. I should do it on their turn. So I think I attack, hope they will block, and go from there. If they want to steal something, we just play Informant or something and block the Tinybones, and then go for the throw. I think this is okay. We kinda lose a lot of pressure, but we are drawing a lot of cards, so we will outvalue this guy. It's always tapped, right? We can also get the clue. It's higher value. Yeah, and if they keep a card... Yeah, I want this. This is better. And I mean, this already will kill them. They want the lifelink from this. They think they will get the lifelink from this. They aren't getting lifelink from this. And Aclazotz is absolutely amazing card. The problem is that it can be basically nullified if you have good enough card advantage. You can just burn cards. Slowly but surely, it just will take too long for them to get, you know, the value. We weren't about to discard a land, so they wouldn't get a bad, but it's just better to do it this way. I guess I can draw a card, right? That was, you know, the whole plan I had, and then I forgot it. I actually need the land. I don't want the snail, because I prefer this card in this deck than exile, because I have many ways to use this card in some cool ways. And drawing 2 cards means that generally will win. Listen, bro, I heard you like some Aclazotz action. Well, they didn't expect this one. And we deal 2 damage a turn, and we draw 2 cards a turn. So sooner or later, our opponent just gets absolutely overwhelmed with Bandit's talent. We don't mind discarding. That's kinda our jam. I cannot play 2 of them. So they will have Aclazotz. I think I need those to keep answering Aclazotz and drawing my cards. This is tapped, mine isn't. So, yep. I could probably kill him right now, but isn't it more fun to do it this way? We draw more cards, we deal more damage, they will be at 1. And now we go with the Season of Loss. Let them feel the loss. Oh! Do I have creatures? Yes! Well, seems like a decent deal to me. Let's see, what is the number? 5! 5 was... man, I'll be honest, this went way easier than I expected. This talent is absolutely amazing so far. Alright, we're going first. And you know what? I like this hand. We'll have a little bit of a slow opening, but I think we can go around it. Let's go with the Tinybones, shall we? Even though we are a discard deck, I really want to make sure that I start, you know, going with this. This is the exile effect, so we'll go probably with Bandit's talent. What are you? +1, +1. Alright, risky to not remove it, but I mean, we know how it goes. Let's see the discard. I don't really think they want to trade here. They will discard the non-land, right? Yep. I can get it on the next turn. I think we take it to defend. Because they might be forced to buff this pre-combat phase, and then we see exactly what is the, you know, the size of a creature. Or they might just like, honestly, I don't mind it. Man, that was their full turn. There's nothing more. I will absolutely take it. I can level it up, but we don't really get anything from this. We can go with the Heist. I honestly think this is the turn. So we go for this one, and we start to get a little bit of his cards, because he's barely out of cards nearly, whatever. You know, we are just starting the game. We're at 19. Haste Prowess, right? And a card draw baked into a red Haster. Always like to see those. Alright, and okay, so not legendary. Okay. We kinda know what's up. I cannot level it up yet. I think we can try to, you know, get something. I think this is a good deal. I will give them the card, because if I can get a good hit, that will be my, you know, full turn. I will steal what I gave you. This is so cool. Oh, I'm just stealing stuff for you know, from my mono red. And I mean, they are starting to get some damage. We keep it. They don't have removal, they need to top deck. We are already nearly ahead of mono red. And you know what? Man, they got absolutely smart, man. Oh, the hope was taken away. Alright, let's set. On the draw. I mean, our curve is okay. Kinda. We'll see. If we kill some creatures, this gives us so much value. Man, I really like the Tinybones combination of this deck. Alright, go, my little skeleton rogue. Not the Kada. Why do they always have it? One swamp, the absolute bane of my wanderers. It's always there, always lurking. And you know what? I think we need some vengeance after this. Is that Dimir? I mean, Sloth asking after seeing swamp and an island. Don't have a counter spell. What a mad lad! He just has everything on the draw. I think they have a counter spell, but you know what? It's still a good counter spell for them. Man, their draw is kinda insane. Like, I've been playing Control a lot, and it's so rare to get this. Why not? And you know what? We are punishing it. Like, it's enough. It's been enough. You give us creatures, we kill creatures. That's what we do. I got heated up. You know? Failed passage. Alright, so they probably... I think they will go for black mana. Let's sit. Yep. They have a lot of double black cards. Like Geeks and Shrouded probably. However... do we go with Braids? We can slowly start doing cards. I don't really like this play too much. With Braids we don't really get much value, but I will try it. Like, we need to start getting something. Earth-Eye Resurrected is absolutely fine. It doesn't really do anything, and it cycles into possibly a better card. Braids, like, doesn't have, you know, too much fodder to sacrifice right now, and I don't want to sacrifice lands because I need Aclazotz on the next turn. The Bat of Absolute Doom. So it seems to be like half control, half tempo deck. Probably more of a tempo deck. Maybe their draw is a little bit weird. Or maybe it's just, you know, not super optimized. We'll see. So, 3 mana. This won't be quick enough. They only have 1 card, so that's kinda important what the card is. And we could go for Aclazotz. let's go. Whatever happens, their last card is gone and they are in the full top deck mode. Whatever they find. The best hit is Interference. Man, he had a really good draw against everything we had, turn after turn, and they just give up. People really give up very quickly here. Sure, there was no monoret. Alright guys, we'll try to make it quicker because you already know the results, you know how it went, and you can see that we absolutely plowed through the ladder. And you can say that it was gold and platinum, but the ranking was reset just a moment ago. So basically gold players are diamond players and platinum players are mythic players. So generally it's a pretty good test. However, I didn't really see Boros. I think I've seen Azorius Control, but I didn't see Boros, so I'm always a little bit hesitant with, any recommendations or just saying, wow, it's great, as long as I didn't see Boros on the play or Monoret on the play. But it feels that we can do it. I included Eclipse that we didn't really use, so we actually have ways to defend against super crazy aggro decks. We could just go Season of Loss and just assume that we will survive to 5 mana sweeper, which can be a realistic take. We have blockers at every step of the game, so we should be able to survive, but I went extra safe with this deck. So maybe that's the reason for good results. We have Beseech the Mirror, by the way, and we can sacrifice Bandit's talent or something we steal, but it's a little bit of an interesting one. We can also sacrifice clues, but you lose the card, so maybe something else can be here, but we have so many very interesting cards that I think you get the good value. But to be honest, Bandit's Talents was absolutely like the powerhouse of the deck. I was a little bit hesitant with the card, but so far so good, especially this level 3 just carries you through the late game, where most of the time you both don't have cards, especially with like Liliana. You know how the Liliana games end. Everyone is full top deck, and yeah, Bandit Talent goes perfectly around it, especially that if you draw 2 cards, usually one is a land and the second one is like a creature or a discard, so you can just get rid of all your hand every turn while making a healthy grow, and use just Liliana to get rid of your opponent cards. So I'm pretty happy with the deck, but I'm always a little bit hesitant because the meta is still trying to figure itself out. I've seen Boros, I know it's super powerful, so until I test more, I will wait with my opinion. It might be a too slow deck. Usually this card is not very competitive just because of you need to basically invest mana into things that aren't affecting the board. Here we have some effect, but for example 2 mana 1/1 always puts you behind against aggro decks, so that means you need to sweep, that means you need to draw a sweeper, so we see how it goes. So far so good, but I still have this little demon in the back of my head. What if you are on the draw against Boros? And I've experienced this kind of experience in the new standard with a different deck, and it hurts. It hurts. One of the things that maybe we shouldn't go for, Hidden Necropolis, generally it's not a good choice, but here I just thought, man, we have so much discard, very often we'll be in full top deck mode, and we have so many great cards that can be hit with Hidden Necropolis. So I thought it's a good idea to just translate lands into some value. The village is nice, but you don't want too many of them, because some of your spells like Liliana and Eclipse are double black on turn 3, and this is double black on turn 2, so we actually don't want those lands, and we already played the Fountain Port, so I think you cannot really go too much. So that's why Hidden Necropolis is nice. We don't have too many 1-drops, and it gives a pure black mana. So I really hope you enjoyed this kind of review, and I hope you had a great fun in the video. It was a really fun day, and I hope you just had a great time here. So thank you, and see you guys tomorrow.
With